The doors are locked here, and there's a sign on the building right now that says it's closed for how long?
Despite holding credit card privileges, Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's time in office has been marred by shocking allegations of misconduct and taxpayer fraud. Recent revelations have painted a disturbing picture of her administration, with evidence of extravagant spending at the town's expense. One glaring example is a lavish $555,000 party she threw for Dalton, which featured performances by artists like Wyatt and Jay Holiday, who were paid $30,000 and $20,000 respectively for 3-minute sets. To make matters worse, Henyard's administration spent an additional $36,000 on sound equipment, comedians, and even bouncy houses, costing taxpayers $6,600, despite the event being attended by only around 70 people. This wasteful spending has led to widespread outrage among residents, with former trustee Valor Stubbs denouncing the event as a self-promotional scheme. Concerned citizen Jennifer Roberts also voiced her anger, condemning the blatant misuse of public funds. The situation took an even darker turn when Carmen Carlisle, a former ally turned whistleblower, revealed crucial evidence of financial mismanagement. Carlisle's testimony, backed by a stack of receipts, painted an alarming picture of Henyard's reckless financial decisions, which drained Dalton's funds over a 2-year period. The town's financial collapse under Henyard's leadership, coupled with her lavish lifestyle, allegedly funded by taxpayer money, has ignited fury among residents. She has been accused of using public funds to finance personal security details, expensive trips, and a lifestyle more fitting for a Hollywood celebrity, all while Dalton's economy spiraled downward. The FBI is now involved, conducting a thorough investigation into Henyard's activities. Federal agents are scrutinizing not only her financial dealings, but also her campaign funds, business ventures, and political connections. The investigation has intensified, with authorities broadening their focus to anyone associated with Henyard, suspecting that they may have played a role in the alleged corruption. Despite mounting pressure, Henyard has continued with her usual duties, seemingly unfazed by the ongoing investigation. Her apparent detachment from the growing crisis has only fueled public frustration, as she appears indifferent to the struggles of the very people she was elected to serve. Activists like Brittany Norwood believe that while the FBI's intervention is long overdue, it is finally addressing the town's cries for help. The case against Henyard became even more complex when whistleblower Carlisle disclosed shocking first-hand accounts of the mayor's misconduct. According to Carlisle, Henyard's extravagant spending and manipulation of public funds over the past 2 years have left Dalton in a dire financial state. As federal agents piece together the evidence, they have begun uncovering a vast web of corruption linking Henyard and several of her political allies. The residents of Dalton, once unaware of the extent of the financial mismanagement, are now forced to face the grim reality that many of the leaders they trusted may have been complicit in the corruption. Henyard's downfall took a dramatic turn when she voluntarily surrendered to federal authorities. Her sudden decision shocked the community, leaving residents questioning her motives. For months, Henyard maintained a glamorous public image, seemingly indifferent to the mounting scandal. Now, however, she is in federal custody. Legal experts suggest that her decision to turn herself in may be a strategic move to negotiate a more lenient sentence by offering information about others involved in the alleged schemes. If true, this would mark a significant shift in the case. Once seen as untouchable, Henyard now faces the very real possibility of legal consequences. Her surrender has sparked hope among Dalton's residents that justice may finally be served. However, it is also a stark reminder of how the town's financial mismanagement spiraled out of control. As Henyard faces federal charges, the people of Dalton are left to pick up the pieces of a town that has suffered immensely under her leadership. The collapse of Dalton's finances has been accompanied by growing mistrust in its leadership, leaving the town in desperate need of significant efforts to restore its financial health and rebuild public confidence. The long-term effects of Henyard's actions are still unfolding, and the investigation into her financial dealings is far from over. Federal officials continue to examine her spending habits, her business ties, and her influence over Dalton's financial management. As the more information comes to light, the full scope of Henyard's alleged corruption may soon be revealed. The story of Tiffany Henyard's rise and fall is far from over. The public's demand for justice remains as strong as ever, with many hoping that the investigation will lead to greater accountability within local government. Despite the challenges ahead, some residents believe there may be a path toward rebuilding the community and restoring trust in its leadership. However, for many, the damage has already been done, and the road to recovery seems long and uncertain. It remains unclear whether the scandal surrounding Henyard's administration will ultimately bring about meaningful reforms in Dalton's government, or simply serve as another chapter in the town's troubled history. The financial mismanagement, wasteful spending, and self-serving behavior under Henyard's leadership have left Dalton in disarray. What once seemed like a powerful and affluent mayoral office has now become a symbol of corruption and reckless governance. Henyard's fall from grace is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power. The people of Dalton are left wondering how their once promising town reached this point. Reports suggest that Henyard's financial irresponsibility was not a sudden development. Rather, her actions were the culmination of years of poor decisions and self-interest that eventually caught up with her. Despite her previous image as a successful and influential leader, Henyard's financial mismanagement is now being exposed in full force. The severity of her actions is underscored by one particularly disturbing report. Henyard allegedly spent $440,000 on Amazon in a single day, highlighting the scale of the financial crisis she presided over. Dalton's financial collapse was so severe that the town had to hire former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot to help clean up the mess left behind by Henyard's administration. This unprecedented move underscores the gravity of Dalton's financial situation, which deteriorated under her leadership. As if things weren't already dire, the Illinois State Comptroller had to intervene to prevent Dalton from receiving $135,000 in crucial funding. This intervention was a devastating blow to the town, leaving residents without the financial support they desperately needed. Even after Henyard resigned and turned herself in to federal authorities, the town continues to grapple with the fallout from her alleged actions. The situation has become even more complicated with legal challenges facing those who refuse to cooperate with the investigation. Reports indicate that wrongful termination lawsuits have been filed by individuals who questioned Henyard's decisions or resisted her authority. This has only added to the ongoing turmoil and frustration among Dalton's residents, many of whom feel betrayed by the very people they elected to serve them. As the investigation unfolds, there is hope that some form of accountability will be achieved, but many residents remain skeptical about the possibility of true reform. Henyard's reckless spending and self-serving behavior have left an indelible mark on Dalton, and it will take time for the town to recover from the damage done under her administration. The financial crisis she created, combined with the erosion of trust in local government, has left Dalton in a precarious position. Dalton's residents, once hopeful for a brighter future under Henyard's leadership, now find themselves struggling to rebuild their community. With millions of dollars missing and the town's finances in shambles, the road to recovery seems long and uncertain. The FBI's investigation may bring some sense of justice, but the wounds inflicted by Henyard's actions will take much longer to heal. Henyard's fall from grace serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of holding public officials accountable for their actions. While the investigation is far from over, the people of Dalton are left to pick up the pieces of their shattered community, hoping that in time, they can rebuild both their finances and their faith in local government. Tiffany Henyard's resignation as Dalton's mayor has done little to alleviate the overwhelming sense of crisis that continues to loom over the town. Her administration, plagued by financial mismanagement, has been further compounded by disturbing allegations of abuse, corruption, and even sexual misconduct, deepening the ethical and legal turmoil surrounding her. In an attempt to deflect blame, Henyard's administration has made counter-accusations against others, but these efforts have done little to quiet the rising outrage among residents. The community's deep dissatisfaction has only intensified with these new revelations, which paint an even darker picture of Henyard's time in office.